a good path for us to segue from our restaurant life in New York City, and has been committed to pursuing sustainable, organic, and biodynamic principles here on this farm from the very, very beginning. I think that she has made some strides here that are changing the way that grape farming will be applied going long into the future. And give her a hand. And she's going to
I want to thank all of you guys for coming. After our big talk and we're taking questions, I want to also invite you guys all to come up and get seconds too. So,
please, yes, this all has to be finished before you go anywhere.
David made the point, right away that Joe McCary is the person that introduced the region to sustainable farming before many people even knew what the word sustainable meant, and of course organics and biodynamics. And to tell you the story a little bit about Joe, he taught us a lot of things, David and I a lot of things, but when we were preparing our land to plant, we went around to a lot of vineyard managers, and everyone said, even from our university, you can't be organic. What is sustainable? We don't know. Soils are too shallow here, too sandy to hold organic matter. Too much humidity to deal with things organically, and we don't even know about the bugs that we're trying to deal with. And furthermore, there's only broad spectrum insecticides, so don't try and even cultivate a beneficial bug habitat. You've got to kill everything 4 times a year. So David and I talked to a lot of vineyard managers. We visit Alex and Joe, and Joe says, "Let me show you my compost tea brewer." And I'm like, "Compost tea? How do you spell that?" And I'm taking notes. And Joe introduced David and I to exactly how we need to farm here. And it's a combination of sustainability, applying organic techniques and trying to move that forward every year, and biodynamics, which can actually answer a lot of questions and fill in the cracks between organics and sustainability. Actually, is what we're finding on this farm. The biggest thing that Joe taught us, other than just hugging your farm in a really big way, is put on blinders and tell everybody else to just, go eat whatever. Because you need to do what you need to do, and you need to do it well. And Joe is really good at doing that and just saying, if you're not, if you're in my way, just get out of my way. I'm moving through. And that's really great what Joe does. And he taught us to do that, and he continues to do that today. And we've adopted his attitude. But just to sort of demystify some things about what we do on our farm here, and I'm actually going to joke how he could have brought some of his own, but I have some on hand. This is actually the horn manure, so anybody hasn't never touched it. It is actually, see, it's not sparkling, it's not little angels. It's not like voodoo calls coming out of it, right? It's really nice. It's beautiful humus that has been cultivated underground in a calcium container. Of course, we all need to add calcium to our manure in order to stabilize the pH and make really great humus from the poop that was in there. And I know everybody says, my new thing is I know everybody says that, wine is really made in the vineyard, but actually wine is really made out of a horse's egg. But to kind of define a little bit about what we do here at Shinn, and hopefully after lunch, if we can all just kind of stroll to the edge of the vineyard and go to the barrel cellar, we can just drink more wine. You can kind of see our no-till technique. And I think that was a really big jumping off point for us here, because we decided to never hoe or till our land here. And it hasn't been touched in about 8 years at this point, 7 to 8 years. And I can go out into our vineyard in July when it's hot and dry, and I can dig my hand down into our soil in about 5 minutes up to here at any point, even where the tractor drives over the soil in the vineyard. And it really proved to me that year after year, our soil gets more spongy and more soft, and it's really incredible. You'd think by not turning your soil over, it would get a hard crust on it, but it doesn't. The exact opposite actually happens. There's lots of reasons for that with all the little microbials that are in the soil, but what we decided to do when we discovered biodynamics with Joe is to embrace that and understand that biodynamics asks you to look at your farm as if it's a living organism and to kind of bring your farm back to a natural state. You know, farming is a beautiful thing. Yes, it's open space, it's open land, and isn't that great? But it's still a man-made environment, right? And in order for you to be a true biodynamic farmer, you really need to bring your farm back into a more natural state. So what we've done is we've decided to find the closest naturally occurring ecosystem to mimic on our farm, and for us that's a meadow or a prairie. So if we can bring our farm back to a meadow or a prairie, we have introduced natural habitat back onto our farm. We have created natural wildlife habitat here, just as Joe and Ron have done on their farms. And because our vineyard is a meadow, it's just 100% natural bug habitat. We have pretty much tackled the ability to deal with insects organically here. We're doing one more experiment this year with some biologicals and some insecticidal soaps and such. So hopefully we'll be successful. People say you should always keep 10% of your farm in experiments. People say, how much of your farm is in an experiment? I say 100%. I'm sure Joe and Ron use it every year. 100% of our farm is in experiment. I think that we're lucky with a lot of the organic materials that are coming out now. There's a great new whole spectrum of biological fungicides. They're great. We're experimenting with some of those this year for diseases that we thought were unfathomably controlled naturally, one being Phomopsis, which is the season we're in right now. It's a cold, wet rains, but they're actually biological fungicides, bringing little bugs back to life and applying those in the vineyard and such. So we're doing some experiment with that. Cornell University, I'm happy to say, is doing some organic studies now. Alice Wise was just over here 2 days ago showing me what she's doing in her vineyard. I show her what we're doing in our vineyard as a day by day for the months of May all the way through to harvest. And we're seeing that we're trying a lot of the same things. She's using some materials that are similar to what I'm using. We're going to report into each other with the biologicals that we're trying now. Have you tried any of them, Joe? I'm curious. Like the Serenade and the Sonata. And
Serenade I've been using for a couple of years now.
And how is that?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it controlling Phomopsis and all that for you at all? Or
I don't know about Phomopsis,
yeah,
but
I know.
Yeah.
But you use it on a
We've used it the last 2 years.
Yeah. And you're happy with it?
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of good things. All the good stuff is much more expensive. That's
right.
the problem.
Yeah.
All the cool stuff to use,
Yeah.
and it's all very expensive. But also another thing I wanted to say, this is one of the hardest regions to grow fruit in, to grow grapes.
Yeah.
And I've been in a lot of different
Harder than
regions.
Burgundy.
And everybody, once they come here and see this region, people from France, from California, they say, oh my God, I can't believe that you're growing fruit here.
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So.
But I think that the more naturally you grow it, the better the fruit is, and the healthier the vines are, and the more they can sustain the onslaught of what we have here, which is mostly weather. Do you guys have any? You can just kind of open it up to questions.
Do you raise any animals on farms?
That's the man to talk to. So, what
We
animals
have,
do you
we have a herd of cattle, about 40 head. We have about 100 rabbits, dogs. Dogs. Yeah, we have. I think that I think that the animals also bring a whole nother spirituality. Yeah, they bring a whole nother energy into the farm, and especially if you're using the manures back into the soil and you're creating that circle, it's a good thing.
I have a question about that. If you, I understand that you're using the manures, but when one of those animals actually passes, would you bury it in the vineyard?
Bury it in the compost? Sure. Of course.
Yeah.
We also eat it. And all the workers, of course, We don't waste anything. Even the deer, whatever animals on there. And in biodynamics, there's special compost made, special materials that are made with the animals also.
Mm-hmm.
So everything gets used.
One more question. Is the philosophy of biodynamics